Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, it says I'm live. Live, live, live. Okay, let me play this. I'm just finishing up what I started last night, you guys. So bear with me 1 second. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of this just to, get our creative juices going, and we will jump in and finish what I was talking about with the ISS, National Laboratories, and the optical simulations that are today's realities in the militaries and gaming and stuff like that. So let's play this a little, and I'll get right to the reading. That's a beautiful bird there. That's, guys, we'll be ready to start very shortly. Just getting a couple other things together. And it's only probably going to be like a, I don't know, 30, 45 minute, maybe an hour long uh, stream today. So just bear with me. We are almost ready to start.
What? Another deal one? Oh, Monday CRM, stop it. Did I log in my calls? Are we in the Stone Age?
Okay. Okay, I'm unmuted. So this is kind of where I left off last night. And I've got a lot of different documents I opened up that are connected to this document. And if you go to my post section on my YouTube page, let me try to pull it up for you. Here we go. I'm going to share this tab instead. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about, where to go. This is my post section. And I made a cartoon of myself. Very cool. And you click right here. It's below the big picture. You click here. You're going to find what I'm reading. And you're going to find all the links, all the evidence, all the receipts that you would need to put two and two together. Okay. Go back here. And I never got to my deep research page, this one here. So I never got to read this last night. Okay. And then we go to here and make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to begin my awesome reading, awesome reading skills. That of a fifth grader, at least. Okay, so this is titled, or it's mainly titled, ISS and it going from physical reality from what they use with certain filters on telescopes, and now they just purely, I mean, when I say purely, that's all they do is simulation research. Okay, but the types of simulation, it's a downplay just to say simulation because it's very, very, very sophisticated equipment. And one thing I noticed yesterday that I put two and two together about them using and growing crystals up in microgravity or down here microgravity, however you want to look at it. That and the types of tissue research they're doing and storing organoids and organelles up there. Yeah, that's the way to keep people's digital twin, you know, locked in to the quote unquote cloud. And they do that kind of research up there in microgravity, high altitude platforms, not in the kind of space that people think about and what we're taught. It's not like that. It's much closer, right? Above the weather system, but very close. And they have huge laboratories up there, not just the ISS. Anyway, all right, I'm getting off topic. Okay, this says the evolution of lunar observation and simulation from Operation Moonblink to SWS, which is Sentient World Simulation. From Moonblink to Sentient World, the evolution of lunar observation, reflector concepts, and the synthetic simulation environments. Too far again. So, the quest to observe, understand, and ultimately model the moon and its phenomena has traversed a remarkable arc over the past 6 decades, beginning with the hands-on, instrument-driven Project Moonblink through the conceptual studies of large-scale solar reflectors in the late 70s and early 80s, and culminating in the emergence of distributed simulation frameworks like SimNet, simulated networks, and the global scale sentient world simulation. This journey reflects a profound transformation in both technology and epistemology. 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 Stemology. Anyway. The transition from physical observatories and hardware-based infrastructure to synthetic, software-driven environments has not only changed how lunar phenomena are studied, but has also redefined the very nature of scientific inquiry, training, and global modeling. This report synthesizes the major milestones, institutional roles, technological innovations, and theoretical implications of this evolution. It cross-references timelines, infrastructure, and conceptual frameworks, providing a comprehensive analysis of how lunar observation and simulation have merged into the broader context of global synthetic modeling. The report draws on a wide array of primary sources, technical reports, and scholarly analyses to ensure depth, rigor, and clarity. So number one is Project Moonblink. Objectives, instruments, and final report. And you guys, that's all there was I could find on Moonblink was one final report from a couple of different sources. So it's kind of iffy to me. Um, Initiated in response. A single pleasant. Uh, so there's a lot here. Scrolling down a few to let you see. There's a few things to read. There's quite a few tables to understand, or to help you understand side-by-side timelines. Here's the evolution of it. Right here is when it became all simulated. Okay. And these are the standards. And here is now, which they've done a lot of studying in, with malography and following your eyes. And in this report here, it talks about these hardwares have to, not struggle. They got enough power, but they're having to render in real time, right? And this is just like when we've seen the moon waves, and there's lots of waves up there that we can see when we're trying to focus in on a star or the moon or whatever. There, you you see the rippling. I think that is the simulation that we are in, rendering in real time. And every time we blink, or our eyes, there's things that are oscillating so fast that our eyes are very complex tools that can help render this light as it comes in, right, and enters our eyes. Here's the conclusion. Down low is all the references that you will need to read through this and see how the timeline went. Right? And I want to try to find this one part. Both the moon and Earth. More relevant than ever. So as lunar exploration enters a new era marked by autonomous construction, which I'm pretty sure guys up there in the sky, they have, over the last few, I'd say 10 years, they've slowly built and replaced our real sky. And it's just my look on it because of everything I've learned. And I've tried to put all that research together for you guys. That way you can make up your own minds. But I've also picked up on the simulation called RealFest that they're using, and the major Tenna software, or let's say backbone, or it's the Simulant Worlds simulation, is the backbone for these platforms that multiple groups of people around the world can be in simultaneously, and it be in real time in the simulation, not like 3 hours behind over there, 5 hours ahead over here. No. Once they enter this morphospace simulated, information environment, you guys are all can walk up and shake hands. Like, it's that real, and that sophisticated. And they put billions into it. So it's not your run of the mill headset like Oracle or something like that, or Apple. These are military scale. Different platforms here. And we got the timeline and what they're, let me scroll up a little bit. This is, what their roles were and who helped put them together. See, these are physical observatories in the 60s. Conceptual or simulated in the 70s to 80s. Then they started to be networked, put together. It's what they called SimNet. Here's all. You guys can look into those. That's when it was global. This is where they went down. NATO was involved. Department of Defense, Homeland Security. This is when they started storing information inside us, inside the nodes, basically, of the sentient or synthetic. It's called synthetic, but it's also called sentient world simulation. SWSCs. Go look into that. And now they're talking about non-physical reflectors being able to be used in our reality, right? But they're non-physical. They're coming out of a slice of a different part of the ether, and it's very, very, it's very. I mean, they're working on it. I talked about this a while back on my X. I may have talked about it on here, but I doubt it. But Reflect Orbital, that's that's a company that wants to give a synthetic, non-physical light to charge, to charge solar cells at night. If you're a trillionaire and you want your own town with its fake sunlight or something, it's only 1.4 billion, right? Oh shit, that's not much for a trillionaire. Put me some lights up there in the sky, make it really bright. Oh sure, let's call this company Reflect Orbital. And they are startups. NASA's involved, Purdue Industry, AI driven. So let's keep going on. Modeling, bridging the reality gap. That was a good read. Bridging the reality gap. I'm just going to click on it right quick. Okay, let's see what this is talking about, guys. It's a long read, but I'm going to skim through it. It says a physics-based sensor simulation environment for lunar ground operations. They say this is just for training, right? These are other people involved with this program. Focus, software framework, rendered, yeah, uses physically based rendering to simulate camera operation in lunar conditions, right? And then the digital twins that they use, right? 2 virtual experiments featuring digital twins of NASA Viper. Oh, another snake reference, right? It's rover navigating a lunar environment. And of the NASA Razor evacuator or excavator engaged into a digging operation. Now, are they really up there and they're just tapping into it? Of course, I don't think so. But in this simulation, solution can be used for the design and testing of perception algorithms, or as a component of in silico experiments that pertain to large lunar operations, e.g. traversability, construction tasks. I have to look into that NASA Viper program. Chronos sensor camera. It's built within an in-house developed physics engine. Okay, so this is their engine called Chrono Terrain Vehicle Interaction, as well as fallout of this interaction. So there is something called the Chronos sensor camera model, draws on ray tracing and HAPCA photometric functions, HPF. So just real quick, I'm gonna leave this up so you guys can have a good look at it one more time. And the introduction gives a lot of information. And I always skip past too much. Key things I would take away from this is the Chrono sensor camera, ray tracing, and HAPK, HAPKE, photometric functions. So they use 2 virtual experiments featuring digital twins of NASA Viper, it's some kind of rover, navigating the lunar environment in a simulation. Don't forget your Chrono sensor camera. And there's something called Real Fast Engine. Okay, and then NASA RASSOR, RASSOR evacuator, engaged in digging operations. I would just try to keep those 3 or 4 things in mind and look into them if I were y'all. Might find something you like. These are all talking about that. Okay. Edge/dust, NASA Edge, NASA dust. You know, if the moon was flying by us at 1,000 miles per hour, right? Wouldn't you think there would be a huge dust trail behind it? You know, if you really think about that, if you think about all that loose dust just gets kicked up so easy from one of their astronauts falling over, and they kick it up and it flies up in the air. You know, I'm pretty sure we would see. You know, doesn't that make sense? We would just see a shitload of dust all the time, like a comet tail behind it. I mean, that makes sense to me. Oh, I'm back on chat. Hey, what's up, Brian? Jeremy Bird, good to see you. Thank you both for being here. I know I'm being redundant at this point, I'm sure, about this, but I didn't get to show y'all this yesterday. So I want to make sure you guys are seeing that all the references and research has been done to clearly show that from the 60s, everything was like a physical model, a hands-on, useful tools, right? And now they openly admit it's purely a synthetic world simulation and a lunar simulation, and Unreal Fest. Like, these things are invested in heavily. Okay, and I'm bringing these things up so you guys can see, because I'm not going to be on here long, but shit, I'm hurting. But anyway, I'm definitely going to leave all this as well. I put some in my posts on YouTube already, but this is the culmination of so I did one long document from a bunch of documents, just narrowed it down to the most important things. Okay, the use cases and institutional roles, SWS and SEAS, have been deployed, right? Already, they're in use. Disaster response, training and experimentation, strategic corporate planning, modeling supply chains, okay, market dynamics and recruitment strategies for Fortune 500 companies. Damn sure they are using, this simulating stuff. Okay, military, homeland security planning makes sense for some of it, but going to the moon, they definitely have to simulate that. It isn't just for training. Okay, architecture and components, political, military, economic, social, informational, and infrastructure. This is called agent-based modeling. Models entities at multiple levels. Granularity from individuals to nations. Wow. Yeah, they are definitely giving us a parallel universe that is energetically right beside us. Our digital twins. Even the buildings, the ditches in front of your house, your mailbox, it's all simulated. Why do you think Google's went around with all these cameras? And I'm sure they do it like every other day or something, or every week. They're definitely mapping everything and everyone. Okay, that's where the sentient world simulation extends seas, it says, to create a continuously running, continually updated mirror model of the real world. Okay, capable of ingesting real-time data, modeling and interactions of individuals, organizations, and infrastructures, and predicting the consequences of future events and courses of action. What does that remind you of? Let's go to that. Number 22. Okay. Sentient world simulation, a continuously running model of the real world, concept paper for comments. And there's 9 pages there. Oh, it even gives some phone numbers. Let's see. Maybe we can call some of these people. I'm wanting to do a couple of podcasts. I'm just skimming through this. All right, let's see how this works here. So you got your analyst interfaces and tools. Maybe y'all can see my mouse here. Auto development. That's the number 1, I guess. You got live input and knowledge discovery, real world web, spiders, live sensors, and it's on ramp going up here, clustering, extraction, ontology based data integration, analytics. It's getting kind of small for me, but from the live input and everything, it goes to the sentient world simulation, the reference world. Okay, it's not the real world; it's the reference world, the digital twin world. And then it incursion manager, and there's a bunch of those. Does it say? Analysis visualizations. And then it goes to off ramp. Okay. On ramp, off ramp. Okay, let me go up just a little bit more. But I'll definitely include this document as well. I've got quite a few documents I want to give y'all, so you guys can go through and look. These are talking about networks. And this was JFCOM, showcased the first prototype of sentient world simulation in the Urban Resolve 2015 exercise. Urban Resolve 2015 was set in a synthetic urban setting and consisted of both simulation and real-time HITL inputs. Cynthia World Simulation 0.5 consisted of SEAS environment, a society of simulations and systems implemented through SimBridge, a development of XNA with knowledge from a classified repository and data from research on public data, and an excursion manager. I haven't heard of any of this yet, so I will be doing a deep dive into that later. You come down more. See, they got all kinds of stuff I have no clue of. So I've only did a partial deep dive, it seems. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna leave that open. Let me come back here. Okay. So Purdue University and support from the DoD, Homeland Security, and other agencies represents the culmination of the transition from physical infrastructure to synthetic, continuously running global models. Here's another link. This is from Purdue University, talking about simulations from simulations to quantum AI. Tech should be forced for good. Well, I agree for good, but not as in forever good. Like this is it for good. It's all good. I don't want that kind of good. Okay, so it starts talking about personal journey with quantum strategy AI, which anagram is right here. Q, lowercase u, uppercase SAI. Okay, go down. C's is synthetic environment. Oh shit. Sorry about that, guys. Try to get this down. Oh, let's just click over here. Okay. So C's, I've been wondering what that stood for. It stands for synthetic environment for analysis and simulation. So it's another platform software to go and maybe in real time, but it's definitely synthetic environment. Sounds like they're mimicking nature. Okay, and that's just my speculation, but it sounds like. Okay, NTSA is National Training and Simulation Association. 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award. So this must be some big deal. NTSA, remember that, guys. All right, I'm gonna go back to my research. And let me continue on now that we know what C's mean. Okay. Contemporary developments. I'm just skimming through this because I don't want to aggravate my pain too much. So kind of taking it easy today. Environmental and regulatory concerns. Catastrophic light pollution. Disruption of circadian rhythms and ecological impacts. Regulatory frameworks lag behind technological capabilities. No shit. With gaps in environmental review and international coordination. And they are talking about, here's what I was talking about earlier, about reflector concepts, okay? In the sky, like literal lightweight, like tinfoil or something, but yeah, more sophisticated. Now driven by commercial startups and enabled by advances in AI, material sciences, and distributed simulation. Okay. Reflect Orbital, a California-based startup, aims to deploy a constellation of thousands of Mylar mirrors. Look that up, guys. I encourage you. Check that out. In low Earth orbit providing on-demand illumination for solar farms, urban areas, and emergency response. Or causing emergency fires. Maybe, but just speculation. Not saying that company will burn down, thousands of acres just for smart city to be built. Not saying that at all. But the system is guided by AI for real-time targeting and beam control. And I've got that pulled up here, but let's just look at it, a little bit, see what it's talking about. Okay. A new dawn for Earth's nighttime illumination. Okay. This is on space voyaging. Let's see what their plans are. Dang it. How do I close that one out? I hate when things do that. I'm going to set these cookies for now. Okay. This must be on their social networks. Announcing our $20 million Series A, led by Lux Capital with participation from these people. Says we truly couldn't be building this with better partners. The sun will power everything. Damn it. Sorry about that, guys. I'll just read on. The sun will power everything. Here we go. Until we outgrow this solar system. And we are taking the first practical steps to increase its utility. We will start by providing light similar to a full moon and build to full noon anywhere on Earth on demand. Right? So you can now just call up this company and say, it's kind of dark over here, man. We need a little light. Here's my latitude, longitude. And these kind of things right here, these kind of reflectors. So they spread out. They're not a solid object. So they're kind of flimsy. And these were imagined back in the 50s and 60s. I've got documents showing this kind of thing, but there's a startup company that had to do it because they weren't going to invest in NASA and all them. They weren't going to invest in it. It was too risky and not needed back then. But now that we have all these solar farms, they think it's a good idea to use stuff like this in low Earth orbit. But I don't know. It seems like it might be a little risky. Now let me roll down a little bit here. I thought I seen somewhere it said 1.4 billion price tag. Let me go back. So this is kind of what it would look like. And up here is like the way it would be used. We know it's just if the sun moves too far out, right? And it blends in with the atmosphere. Yeah, we know it doesn't work like this, where it goes up then down, right? Because of this part of the Earth. This is a deception. If you put this part of it way down closer to Earth, right down in here, and the sun is, going down over here, yeah, then it can go up and down. But I believe it would be at such a low altitude compared to the height of the sun overall. But then once you got up the light with the reflector, then I'm pretty sure whatever it is that the reflector can angle then anyway. It's on like a rotating. Like this part here would be rotating this whole top piece. And imagine how light the thing would be. You got to use your imagination with that. But I'm not saying it's at 100% real. What I'm saying is look into it. There are several articles from different people's different views from different people. This was way back, Walt Disney. Okay, I'm gonna go off this one. Let me go back to my research. Where are you at, research? Shit, did I just close that? Oh, that sucks. No, maybe I didn't. Still live. Okay. Sorry about that. I took the screen off. Let me reshare. My bad. My bad, bro. Okay, share this one. And go back. Let me add this. Okay. Now you guys should see what I'm seeing. All right, let me get back to the reading. Where are you at? Where did you go? Well, okay, there it is. Okay. So that was the reflect orbital and what they're doing. And I pulled up one of the things, but there are also two other links on my. I did put this document on the post section in YouTube. Well, yeah, I did. Okay. Let's see, simulation as designed. Okay, synthetic data and the reality gap. The use of simulated data for training, validation, and decision making introduced new challenges in ensuring that models generalized to real world conditions, problem known as the reality gap. Which one do y'all want to read? Simulation, reality gap. Reality gap. So they're basically all three saying the same thing. A physics-based sensor simulation environment. Let me go to this one. Okay. So this is a paper. I'm going to switch over if you guys can see this. Okay. This is a 14-page document, which is included. They're all links attached to, they're all attached to the document from my research that, like I say, is in my post section. You guys would be surprised at, I don't know, it's confusing to me a little bit because everything is so advanced now that when I look into a computer screen or a TV and I get lost in that, I forget that that's not real. You know what I mean? So in that way, how do I know that they're not shooting, things into my eyes through this camera, right? And convincing me of this world that I live in as real as they're, I have things like that, not science fiction like talk. See, like these kind of CVEDIART would allow AI technologies to scale without the burdens of data collection and labeling. Really, resilient AI with zero data. What does that even mean? While we do not know how these models were created, we recall, however, that for the GSPs, creators at United Steel, edge cases were hard to model. Savedia ambitiously proposes to create examples of all possible edge cases, despite their rarity. Notably, the company has never followed up on the pronouncement made in 2021, and the synthetic data market has yet to be conquered by their simulation platform. It is safe to believe that the reality gap has yet to be bridged. Now it talks about NVIDIA down here. There's a simulation firm, DSpace, to create platforms simulating suspension, tires, brakes, all the way to the full vehicle powertrain and its interaction with the electronic control units that power actions such as steering, braking, and acceleration. Trajectory points why reality gap is not only a technical and epistemological problem, but a political, economic one. Oh man, there's so much to this stuff, and it's so interesting. But yeah, there's that talking about a reality gap and simulation data to moments in a prehistory of synthetic data. Okay. Now let's go back to the research. There are 3 links there that you guys can jump into about the synthetic data and reality gap. Okay. Let me go up just a bit. There's something called aggregate level simulation protocol, expanded simulation to battalion, corps, and theater levels, precedent for later synthetic environments. The architecture and methodologies of SimNet informed the design of sentient environment and sentient world simulations, bridging the gap between physical and conceptual infrastructures. And there's 3 links here. An insider's perspective. We'll look at this one. Okay. Once again, a 27-page official document. This is number 67 out of only 110 copies. So whatever this is speaking of was pretty top of the in 1995. You know, L. Neil Cosby, March of 95, an insider's perspective. So not many people knew about this simulation stuff in 95. Okay. Institute for Defense Analysis. It gives the address. It gives a number here. So this looks pretty official. Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA. Okay. This was before, maybe not before DARPA, but this is the research department of DARPA, maybe. But I know there used to be ARPANET on the end. But this is speaking of SimNet, simulation networks. Let's just see a little bit what they're talking about. Okay, I'm just reading a little bit here. I'm going to see the exact purpose. Here we go. Contents. The program, a vision. Let me go back up just a little bit. So we got the introduction, the program. Under the program is a vision and a brief summary. Number 3 is the idea. 2 learning entrepreneurs, converging trends, and courageous decisions. Number 4, the technology, the evolution of an aim. The basic network architecture, which I'm going to read about, and a threat to the established industry. Okay, that's interesting. Number 5, the future. What is next? A, looking back. B, looking ahead. And then the conclusion, the glossary, and references. Let's go to B, number 4, which is page 14. I want to read just a little bit about what this is telling these officials. There's the SimNet test bed, Moore's Law, leadership time span, a basic network architecture. There we go. It says around the world in 80 seconds. That's interesting. It's pretty damn fast. Okay, page 14 and 15. Scroll through a couple of these pictures here. So this is above the land, connected to several things at once. Okay, and they're making the simulation here. Analyzing the collected data. Figure 2. Figure 3 shows. Figure 3 shows 4 aircraft simulators, okay, with crews flying in a virtual environment and attempting to execute the plan. Coordination, timing, and reaction to defenses and mission effectiveness are assessed. So figure 2 here, it's right over here, it looks like, right? Figure 3, these are the simulators. And it's fed all the information to here. Okay. For assessing the plan for real-time execution. So they're running up, all possible outputs, I guess you could say. Combined Arms Tactical Training. And that's called CAT system. The Army began procurement in 1992. Okay. Let me get to page 14 here. I want to read this official letter here. The Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, 1991. Joint warfare is team warfare. When a team takes to the field, individual specialists come together to achieve a team win. All players try to do their very best because every other player, the team, and the hometown are counting on them to win. So it is when the armed forces in the United States go to war, we must win every time. Every soldier must take the battlefield believing his or her unit is the best in the world. Every pilot must take off believing there is no one better in the sky. Every sailor standing watch must believe there is no better ship at sea. Every Marine must hit the beach, believing that there are no better infantrymen in the world. But they all must also believe that they are part of a team, a joint team that fights together to win. This is our history, our tradition, and this is our future. Colin Powell said that. Also, Colin Powell held the little vial of yellow powder. Yeah, y'all remember that. Said that this would wipe out 10,000 men. Yeah, okay. Yellow mustard powder. They probably took it out and put some on their sandwich and ate it after that meeting. It's like, man, this is fine. What are they talking about? Okay. Basic network architecture. Regardless of the name, this technology allows many different ways to develop new military or civilian business approaches. The core simulation technology is a large synthetic environment. It can be entered in real time from stations worldwide, meaning they had brain-to-computer interfacing at that point, to enter autonomous vehicles or autonomous nodes called human bodies. So take it for what it is. Figure 12 shows the basic network architecture for the individual simulator. This architecture emphasizes the desire for flexibility in graphic systems, host computers, programming languages, and operating systems. Networks allow widely dispersed participants to be brought together on a virtual piece of the earth without anyone leaving home. Okay. These are early simulation headsets and brain-to-computer interfaces. Okay, Figure 13 is a useful depiction of the flexibility and speed in visiting any spot on the globe, including denied locations. Okay, that's why some of these people that used to say they would project using the CIA techniques, and they were checked into these weird places, and then people would turn around and like in shock that they could see them, and then the guy that was projecting into that place just went back into his real body, like he was booted out of where they were. Meaning, I don't know what that means, but it seems to mean that yeah, you were able to do this without equipment. Yeah. You see up here, there's something called STOW, Synthetic Theater of War, virtual environment, 3D graphics, realistic simulations, and so forth abound. I think what they were doing is when they really got good at this with these distributed simulation platforms, that they were literally there, their consciousness, right? They tunneled in to real machines, but the real physical places, and they would have you believe that they have simulated it so well that, you know, down to like 5 inches or something like that worldwide, which maybe they're that good now. General Accounting Office. Times, yeah, geez. All right, I'm not going to ramble on more. I'll leave this for you guys as well because there are links, and the links are right here. Oh, y'all can't see this page. There we go. All right, right here, I'm circling them. Okay. Now there's emergence of non-physical reflector concepts and synthetic illumination from hardware to simulation. Oh, that's what I just, okay, that's what I went over. And we just looked at SimNet. Now there's something called aggregate level simulation protocol. ALSP, ALSP. Well, how do you pronounce that? I would look into that for y'all. Check it out. Technical architecture and standards. So SimNet pioneered several foundational technologies. The PDUs, connectionless data transfer for simulation state updates. So that's the rendering part. As distributed interactive simulations. These here, I would highly recommend to look into. Okay, terrain databases, large scale, high fidelity digital terrain models for real-time rendering and interaction. Semi-automated forces, long haul network, linking geographically distributed sites for joint exercises, and after action review, time travel capability for training and analyses. So do they rewind? Is that what they mean? After action review? Is that almost like, you know, when something happens in football and they throw the red flag and they're like, hold on, stop everything. We need to rewind and watch this stuff in slow motion, right? And then make up our mind. I don't know. But I'm sure one of these talks about it. Oh, this is the same document. Okay, no, I just went back to the same document. So nothing new there. Let's lose that one out. Okay. Scalability, hundreds of simulators and thousands of entities could participate in coordinated exercises across multiple sites. So yeah, they're similar. This is how they're going to fight wars. You know, they're going to be comfy in some, you know, simulator and just fly these autonomous Skynet, you know, type of vehicles. And don't think they're going to get in the simulator and get out right away to do one job. No. These are scalable operations that are using, surveillance, reconnaissance, and, just intelligence gathering, more than likely on people like us, but as far as physically fighting wars, they're just going to go into the TENA type of middleman simulator, and just tap in, through their thoughts. I mean, a lot of people have been doing that. Okay. Here's the Genesis and Vision. If y'all want to go back to read that, I won't jump into that too much. Institutional roles. So NASA led the technical studies with input from contractors like Astro Research Corp, while the DoD and intelligence agencies monitored potential military applications and strategic implications. Illumination from space, conceptual design studies, right, for large, you guys will just have to go through this. Soldiers, spies, and the moon. I've been wanting to read a little bit of this. Let's tap you guys in. Let me come back to real quick. I'm going to come back to the comments and just see who's here. Okay, Ryan Roy, Jeremy Bird, the Michigander. What's up, man? Why you got that eyeball? Who you watching? Who are you watching, man? You watching my weird channel that's never planned out, semi-planned out? All right, man. Let's get back to it. I'm going to read a little bit more because this is something new for me. Okay, so you see the chopped down tree, right? So this says soldiers, spies, and the moon. Secret US and Soviet plans from the 50s and 60s. Declassified documents reflect the covert side of lunar programs. Posting marks 45th anniversary of first human on the moon. National Security Archive electronic briefing book number 479. Posted July 20th, 2014. What's in here? Okay, let's scroll down just a little teeny bit. Okay. I don't know about that picture, but we're about to read what's going on here. So in Washington, D.C., July 20th, 2014, 45 years ago, astronaut Neil Armstrong took his one small step in quotations for mankind, becoming the first person to set foot on the moon. The program that resulted in that historic event, managed by the NASA administration, had been a very public one ever since its announcement by John F. Kennedy in '61. Even the Soviet government had publicized aspects of its own effort. But there were also highly secret elements to the US and Soviet schemes, which are the subject of today's National Security Archive posting of previously classified records. The documents focus on three topics: early US military plans, including the possibility of conducting nuclear tests in space, the use of the moon to reflect signals for military or intelligence purposes, and US intelligence analyses and estimates of Soviet missions, and their intentions to land a man on the lunar surface. The posting includes Army and Air Force studies from 59 to 61 on the creation of military lunar base with possible uses as a surveillance platform for targets on Earth and space. And the lunar-based Earth bombardment system, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 documents. Okay, let's go through those. I got a little bit of time here. First document A1. It seems to be a long one, 121 pages. So what I'm going to have to do is put this through Copilot and ask some hard questions. Summary and supporting considerations. This is from the United States Army. unclassified. Proposal to establish a lunar outpost. Okay, you guys, I can't read all this, but this says Arthur G. Trudeau. Does that ring a bell? This was in 1959. I'm going to have to look and see Chief of Research and Development, if he has any relation to Trudeau in Canada. Reference letter of ordinance from Chief of Research and Development, subject as above. Subsequent to approval by the Chief of Staff of Reference, representatives of the Army Ballistic Missiles Agency indicated that supplementary guidance would be required concerning the scope of the preliminary investigation specified in the reference. In particular, these representatives requested guidance concerning the source of funds required to conduct the investigation. I envision expeditious development of the proposal to establish a lunar outpost to be of critical importance to the U.S. Army of the future. This evaluation is apparently shared by the Chief of Staff in review of his expeditious detail to be covered by the investigation. So expeditious approval and enthusiastic endorsement of initiation of the study. Therefore, the detail to be covered by the investigation and the subsequent plan should be as complete as is feasible in the time limits allowed and within the funds currently available within the Office of the Chief of Ordnance. In this time of limited budget, additional monies are unavailable. Current programs have been scrutinized rigidly and identifiable fat trimmed away. This is what they used to call pork, pork money trimmed away. Thus, high study costs are prohibited at this time. I leave it to your discretion to determine the source and the amount of money to be devoted to this purpose. So they had a plan and a budget. Okay, let's come on down. Regarded unclassified Form A 1961. Okay. Okay, this was secret at one point. There is a requirement, right? They're requiring this. So for some reason, they think you can land on the moon. And this was before the simulations, right? They were looking at it as if, with these huge ass telescopes saying, yeah, we need there's a need for surveillance and intelligence agencies to have some type of reconnaissance base up there. Okay. And I'm just reading, I'm skimming through here. Operation. Yeah, I'm fucked, dude. This is very interesting. I'm going to have to do some heavy deep diving with AI and with a lot of these acronyms that I'm not familiar with, and look into those. So it does take a while to do good research, guys. And I'm only giving you guys what I'm finding, But this is a very interesting find to me. It's older. It's called Project Horizon Report. Project Horizon Report. Okay? Project Horizon Report. Okay. I just want to say it a couple of times so y'all can do your own look. But this document is 121 pages. So there's a shitload of information here that is older. And so this is around, see, like these acronyms, there's around a lot of or this would be surrounding a lot of things back then that were pre NASA, basically, or when NASA just got off the ground. So a lot of these things are fairly, I think, honest, but they may be confused by what seems to be a light in the sky and then something real attached to the firmament, maybe, or something like that. But if you guys ever know when your camera is just barely off of focus, it looks like there's a solid structure up there, and then there is a huge like light source that looks like it almost envelops it, almost as if the solid looking part of the moon is going into that light. It's almost like there's something being projected, right? And the phases, I don't even want to say it like that, but it seems to me like the phases are created from two separate things, let's say. Okay, I'm gonna get off this. I'm definitely gonna research it later. Okay, and what's the other one here that I missed? I'm sharing this tab now. Here we go. Now I'm looking through these one more time. These links. Conceptual design studies. Soldier, spies, and moon. Ah, that's what it was. Let me go back to that, and we'll finish up what I was reading here. Okay, let me share the tab. There we go. You should see what I'm seeing now. So I'm going to go back down. Okay, there's another document, document 1B. Okay, we looked at the first one. So here's the second one. It must be a long one. It's taking a while to load. Oh yeah, 298 pages. Holy crap! We'll scroll way down. This could be part of. Oh, this is a volume 2 of that, but 300 pages instead. Oh wow. Oh my goodness, I am in heaven right now. This is new research for me. Okay, cool. I'm just scrolling down. Wow, this is so detailed. It gives schematics. Oh man, it gives a lot of things. Okay, you see the drawing? I don't know if y'all see what I see. Um, I hate to say it like this, but when you do look at the moon, like very close, you do see a bunch of 90-degree angle, different separate um places on the moon, like a lot. And you can see the indentions. It's not just shadows. It's way beyond shadows, guys. I've used other people's amateur telescopes that they build and just watched for hours and hours and hours on end of what they've produced. And not just the moon, but they have found in different spectrums, right? Full spectrum lenses and capabilities that there are the Star Wars plasma based little devices up there, right? And there's no good depth perception, so they could be fucking huge. I may just be seeing the plasma lit up side of the structure, but there could be more structure to it. So anyway, let me go pull up. I'm gonna leave this one up, and I'm gonna go pull up the other documents I see. That way, I can do a deep dive, and you guys can also do a deep dive. Soldier's Moon. There we go. And scroll down. Okay. This is document number 3. Okay. Lunar-based Earth bombardment system. This is what it says right here. Right under the posting includes Army and Air Force studies from 59 to 61 on the creation of military lunar base with possible uses as a surveillance platform. Right. And the lunar-based Earth bombardment system. So this is what we're pulling up the documents about, okay? Here is document 3. And I'm going to put it where you guys can see it. Okay, Military Lunar Base Program, or SR-183, Lunar Observatory Study. It was secret, but now it's scribbled out. This is volume 1. ARDC, whatever that means. Project number, task number. You guys, please look these things up for yourself. April 1960. Directorate of Space Planning and Analysis. Air Force Ballistic Missile Division. Right? Gives you a location of it, like a P.O. box or post office box. Okay, they got the Arthur Air Force and Research and Development Station, maybe LTR, May 20th, 1976. This is when it was made not secret anymore, unclassified, basically. Okay. Acknowledgement, voluntary contractors, Douglas Aircraft Company. We are getting the juice, baby. The contractors' reports were evaluated by personnel from various ARDC organizations. Maybe y'all can fill me in what that means. ARDC. And you got information provided by the evaluation panels was used by the AFBMD project office personnel to prepare this final report. And without their assistance, this final report would not have been possible. Okay, so there's somebody important. They are a evaluation panel. Well, panels, they say. Okay, let me go down. Intentionally left blank. Wonder why. Oh, come on. Don't leave so many pages blank, please. There we go. Shit, man, come on. Okay, here's the study summary. How can a manned base be established on the moon? When can a manned base? How much will it cost to establish a manned lunar base? Why should a manned base be established on the moon? Expanded on the question of established on the moon. The first step was to perform a transportation analysis, okay, and determine the most advantageous method of transporting men and materials to the moon and returning the men to the Earth. All conceivable chemical, nuclear, and ion propulsion systems using Earth and lunar satellites, as well as direct shot trajectories, were considered. Okay, let's scroll down. There's a lot here, you guys. I can't wait to put this into Copilot and really break it down with some good questions. November 64 is the first lunar sample returned to Earth. Manned lunar lander and return in 67. Temporary lunar base initiated, 67. Permanent lunar base completed, December 68. Operational lunar base, June of 69. Bro, I don't know, man. This is getting interesting, man. I just, I like finding documents like this because it makes me scratch my head a little bit more. But I hate when they leave these pages blank. It feels as if they're hiding something, fellas. Okay, there we go. I'm going to come back to my research. I'm going to leave all these pages open just for the hell of it. Now, let's go back to my document and let's go to the number 4, document number 4. Okay. All right. There are 220 pages on this one. This was declassified and taken out of secret mode in October of '89, it looks like. And they got some stuff here. Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. Lunar Expedition Plan, LUNEX, 1961, guys. 1961, 220 pay. Whoa. Jeez, what happened? Man, it's got charts. Oh, cool. These look like almost like they're hand drawn. I've never seen anything like this. WDLAR dash S dot or dash 458 fiscal year. Okay, these are the years as they're unfolding. Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, it's showing their progress over the years or their plan for that kind of progress. That one's blank. Section 2, program description, lunar expedition. It's called LUNEX, guys. LUNEX. Lunar expedition. If y'all want the acronym, that's it. Oh shit, I'm not showing you. Sorry about that. Let me share. Okay, now I'm sharing this tab. This is a 1961, it's a 220 page document talking about the LUNEX program objective, description, design philosophy, abort philosophy, expedition planning 2.11. They blacked out something, but let's keep going, guys. Intentionally left blank. Okay, there's the background program description, program objective, and y'all can come back and read these. I'm just okay. Here we go. This is the moon, I guess. This is what their plans are for their expedition. 6, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Just not saying this is all real. I'm saying read through it, make your own decision. But this is new to me as well. Lunar landing stage, space launching system. These are boosters, okay. All right, there's a lot of pages, so just gonna skim through kind of quick. Oh, what was that? I was showing topography. Manius C, like a little crater there. Kepler LAC. And they even got a seal. Scale is 1 to 1 million. It's a lunar chart. Okay. Got some notes, control, vertical datum, elevations. Okay. Just going down. Okay, so they got a nice little terrain map. Looks kind of faded, but what do you expect over the years? It's like 80 years old. Kepler. Bias, it said. United States Air Force lunar chart. Again. More charts. Kepler up close. This is an artist's rendition. Section 3, master schedules. LUNEX. Okay, here's the okay. Space launching requirements, master program schedule, test schedule, training schedule, development program. Okay, let's keep going. They sure are leaving out some stuff. Whoa, did that say hologram? Program, okay. Oh, I said hologram up here. Guess not. Master program phasing chart. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be asking a buku load of questions. Wow, that's a lot of charts. Ooh, let's go back up here. Okay, so this gives a clear view. Oh, wow. I didn't know they had this type of shit back then. Look at this vehicle. Manned lunar payload. Hold on. These look different than what I was shown. See how this looks? All these people got their own little sections. Hmm. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. It's what y'all were used to seeing. This type of, are these just conception vehicles? Manned vehicle system, center of gravity axis system, and station diagram. Vehicle at beginning of lunar landing. Here. Manned vehicle at exit. So this is supposedly the lander, or the lander, sorry. Center of gravity axis system and station diagram. Station diagram. The entry vehicle. Vehicle prior to entry. Okay. 366 feet. Is that what this 366 is? 496 feet from top to bottom. It's pretty fucking tall. Okay, let's keep going. See what this says. This is what it looks like. Top down, down. These are very small words, but this is very interesting, right, guys? Because this looks nothing like what I don't think any of us are used to seeing this type of design. General arrangement, man lunar payload. Okay. Moving on, I don't want to take too long. See some more diagrams that they got them. Math. Bunch of talk. Okay, but I guarantee you, this has got some golden information that we haven't been taught about NASA and their partners, right? And the way things operate. See, this is getting very interesting, these type of charts. Wow. That's so fucking cool, guys. I hope y'all dive into these with me and, later on and we can figure out some things together. Oh, there was some stuff. Okay, integration building. So this was the plan. Navigable or navigable waters. Locks. Lunex launch complex. So they got water up there now? They've been saying that. We just thought it wasn't real. Ramps to pads, propellant storage, integration building, Lunex launch complex. Okay, launch pads, ramps to pads. You know what? I've never seen that stuff like this up close, but I have definitely seen these types of shapes and stuff on the moon, right? I have. I don't know. I've tried to show people. They're like, man, I don't see nothing. What's that? I don't see nothing. I tried to show it to Jaron a while back. What I was seeing looked like roads, and so I tried to show Witsit none of them believed me, bro, or none of them like took the time. As soon as I started showing it, right away they were they couldn't see it. What, man? I don't see nothing. What are you talking about? They didn't really look and take the time to look for these types of things, right? But I don't know. Maybe I'm different, man. Maybe I just see things different. Okay, let's go to the next document. Okay, number 14. Okay, so this is talking about, you guys, I'll just re-mention it. This right here is soldier spies and the moon. They're talking about, they had plans, they had documents drawn up, they had budgets set aside for putting bases on the moon up here. Okay, I'm not saying that picture is real and that's the Earth, right? Don't jump to conclusions, please. But here's the fourth document. I'm going to share this tab. Okay, this is that's the last one. Sorry about that. That was the last document. But guess what? There are lots more. We're just going to skim through. Okay, so it says a study of the denotation of a nuclear device on or in the vicinity of the moon. Document 2. Unclassified. Defense Documentation Center for Scientific and Technical Information, Cameron Station, Alexandria, Virginia. 190 pages, guys. They were talking about a nuclear device on or near the moon, okay? Which means it could be a low Earth orbit for all we know. Well, I would say, all right, check this out. This badge. Oh, we got this up here, and oh man, we can bust the atom up and just drop it right down, and it blows open reality. And then you see the backdrop, the grid. I'm joking. All right. Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. Okay. The study of lunar research flights. Armour Research Foundation of Illinois Institute of Technology. Damn, that is getting small. But it is June of 1959. Headquarters, Air Force Special Weapons Center, Air Research and Development Command, Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. Right? Let's go down. 190 pages. That's a lot. Who was this signed off by? Kerry L. O'Brien Jr., Colonel, Deputy Commander. Publication review. This report has been reviewed and is approved. Okay, here we go. There is the different chapters that they're talking about. High energy radiation environment of the moon, lunar surface and magnetic field of the moon, some aspects of plasma and magnetic field effects, acceleration of electrons in mirroring plasmas. That's a big thing to remember, guys. Let's actually, Appendix 1, 221. Let's go to 221. See what they say about these plasmas. So how's there 221? There's only 190 pages. I don't know, but we're going to get there. Go back up. There's something there. Right there. Right. What's happening here? Check that out. Accelerometer spring. Seismic spring. As. Accelerometer spring again. Coil. Gas magnet. What do they do there with that? Oh, uh-oh, I forgot to share this tab. Sorry about that. I was just looking at these interesting figures here. They talk about accelerometers here with these springs, a screw mount, screw thread, and then down here, I guess that pushes down on the mass. And then these seismic springs must be like piezoelectric effect or something. It's a seismometer though. An accelerometer seismometer. Sorry, I can't speak English. Okay, I'm going to scroll on down. I want to get to the part that talks about plasmas. Look at all this math. Jeez. That's awesome, dude. Telling us a lot. I just don't know the overall message they want us to take from these things. Sideways. Particles, X-rays. Oh, I can't read that sideways. Fraction of particles in hyperbolic orbits. Fraction of particles in parabolic orbits. Fraction of particles in elliptic orbits, which I know nothing about. I won't act like I do. I do know about parabolic and dropping and coming up. Okay, composition of the lunar surface and the magnetic field of the moon. I need to get way past that and get to these plasmas. Come on, guys. Oh, it's right here somewhere. Whoever likes to do math, there's a lot of math. Oh, I'm getting close. Sorry about this, guys. Just taking a second. There's a lot of references, citations, sources. Okay, here we go. Acceleration of electrons in mirroring plasmas, which I don't know about mirroring plasmas, but this sounds interesting. Let's look into it. Okay, go up just a little bit. Okay, in this appendix, we wish to describe briefly a possible mechanism for the production of fast electrons in the MeV range of energy. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, from a nuclear burst and specifically not involving nuclear beta decay. The existence of a very simple and general mechanism for generating fast electrons, which has remained unnoted in much of the weapons effects literature, but which has described quantitatively for the case of cosmic rays by the Russian scientist Veksler, is the basis for this discussion. Veksler has suggested that relativistic electrons in cosmic space can be generated by the motion of a small neutral cloud of ionized plasma in an inhomogeneous magnetic field. We shall repeat here the essentials of his argument and then apply the ideas to the behavior of a nuclear bomb case, plasma. Okay, they're merging the two studies. Okay, this is going to be a good read, guys. Don't want to read it all right now, but I'll leave it right there for you guys. It's all in my research. You just click on where I'll give you the exact. I'll point to it right now. I'm going to share this tab, and I'm going to point to it. It's before number 3. Okay, and I'll scroll up just a little bit. Okay, right here, 2.4. theoretical and strategic implications. So there is the numbers here for links. Number 14 says soldier spies in the moon. I'll click on it one more time. And right here, this document, all you have to do is scroll down, and all these in blue right here. So let me share it. So this document right here, all these documents here, I have not did a deep dive on, but I'm looking forward to it. All I'm on is right here, document number 2, but we did look at these 4, okay? This is between 59 and 61. It's talking about, it's involving Soviet stuff, intelligence agencies, NASA. There's a technique known as moon bounce ELINT, ELINT. Whatever that means, there's documents there to discuss those. So let me scroll down a little bit more. Let's see what all. Okay, this is just okay. Look, there's plenty more documents. Look at this, guys. Plenty more learning to be had. That's a really cool picture. Apollo 11 Commander Neil Armstrong left a small gold replica of an olive branch on the moon. Did anyone know that? This is new to me. The gesture represented a wish for peace for all mankind, according to NASA. Okay. Weird. 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 little berries, I guess you would say. Let's see. From the bottom, how many leaves? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 leaves. Okay, so that's not symbolic to me in any way. But anyway, lunar bases and denotations, there are other documents there to open. Moon bounce, while NASA's lunar program helped preclude, undoubtedly along with international political considerations, any military service ambitions to establish an outpost on the moon. The military and the intelligence community found at least 2 ways after 61 to make use of the moon without leaving Earth. Both approaches involved signals bounced off the moon and a possibility that had been confirmed by experiment as early as 46. And there's documents down here. There's TRSS-COM. It's another, and there's Communications Moon Relay, CMR. So there's a lot of things to be had in the future of, this will be my next deep dive for sure. Listen to this. The Air Force also had its own moon bounce project, designated Flower Garden, which relied on several antennas, including the 250-foot antenna at Jogrel Bank Radio Observatory in England. All right, and then there's a reference here. I'm just going to click on it real quick. Jesus, this thing just gets deeper and deeper. Wow. Oops. There seems to be a lot of information here. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys, a little bit. I'm going to go back up, read a little bit more of my document. Let me share my tab. Okay, let me scroll up a little bit more. Okay, constellation size. So this is the plan for Reflect Orbital, their mission to put a non-physical slash physical, right, way to charge these solar farms, right? And they can do it at night by reflecting sunlight, by very light geosynchronous and low Earth orbit, okay? Not way out in space. These are very close to the Earth, considering, okay? Illumination intensity, 56 to 77 full moons. It's 8 to 11 lux, which is very bright, you guys. Oh, and here it is. Cost in 1981 dollars. 18 reflectors cost 1.4 billion. That's why some people are like, do we have a fake sun? Like, is there a simulator up there, kind of thing? And to simulate something temporarily, just to see what the reaction of the public will be, wouldn't take much. It wouldn't be like huge machines. There's a misconception when it comes to that. I think the 3 rockets that they launched straight up toward into the April of 2024 eclipse, I think they put something up there then. Because after that, people started talking about some weird things with the sun and flashing and just different things, okay? Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, right? Computational modeling, transition to conceptual only NASA reflector studies. That was done in 77 to 82. So it shifted from physical to conceptual infrastructure, or non-physical, basically. Not just wrote down on paper, not that kind of conception. Okay, Argus, right here, Astronet. Y'all want to write that down, or just look at it later. Like I say, I got this posted. I can do it again. Let me do that now. Let me copy. Okay, and I'm going to put this right now over into. Oh, check out my picture. My new. I made an anime of myself. In my picture, it was a picture outside my house. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. So I did some golden ratio talk between two AIs talking about the golden ratio phi. Okay, let me just paste. Paste. Bam. Okay. Now you can't say you don't have it or you don't have access to it. Here it is. And if you open it up straight into like Chrome or something, then the links, right? See, I just posted it right here, guys. Right here in my post section, I'm circling it. But if you open it straight into Google, right? Use Google. The link buttons are bigger and so much easier to work with. Uh-oh, I got a call coming in, guys. I'm going to mute up for a second, and I will be right back. Hey, Autumn. Okay, guys, I'm back. My phone, it was probably Humana. So, okay. So I got to call back my health. It's one of my health agencies called Humana. Okay. So, I guess I'll wrap it up. But what's up, Brian? What's up, Mr. Suits? The Michigander, what's up? Thank y'all for being here. And I know I've been doing a lot of blabbing. I just really wanted to get straight to it today and give you guys this. I did a deep dive on everything I was reading yesterday, uh, from physical um, telescopes looking at different color spectrums like rotating lenses is what they were starting with in the 60s, looking up at the moon, right? And now it's purely sentient world simulation and simulated environment. Just from beginning to end, they are refreshing this quote unquote world simulation in real time. It's rendering in real time. That's why I think in the Matrix movies, sometimes they say there's glitches and things will double play like a scratch in the record or CD. I honestly think that somehow they've got us mapped through malography and through computers, through you know TVs, through phones, through whatever we are always looking at with our eyes. They are mapping us molecularly, and everything we look up and see in the sky, I'm starting to lean toward more because of the way when you're just in focus and out of focus of through a lens, looking at the moon or sun or whatever, you see that there is a separation of the light of the moon and the solidity, it seems like, of the moon. So there's best of both worlds there happening until your computer, or not computer, but your camera or telescope usually has chips, right? When you get that perfect, you know, in focus, then it's in coordination, perfect coordination with that chip and what that chip is telling you you're seeing basically through your eyes, and it's training us in a way to accept a simulated sky, possibly, and it's more realistic by them dumping all this shit in the sky to have a better, thicker, more dense background to put these things on. And I think slowly they use these billions and billions of maybe trillions of dollars to put toward these human training simulations where, like it said in the documents, there can be thousands of people, probably millions, in real time, rendering at the same rate, just meeting up in one place if they wanted to. Is it real or not? I don't know. But now I found, I pointed out to you guys, all these documents from the transitional stages, from 59, from 60s. And I haven't looked at all of them, so I'm sure there are going to be lots of other documents you guys can dive into. And I wish you the best of luck with it because, I look at it almost like, hey, man, what can we do individually, like, in our spare time, but what are we going to come up with as a collective, right? Even if it's 4 or 5 people diving into these documents and cross-referencing with timelines, different documents, like I have with this, and but it seems as if I've missed some things, so I am excited to do some more deep diving. But with that being said, guys, I'm probably going to jump off here and get into some research and take care of myself. I haven't even ate today, so it's like, I've been busy with this, so I need to eat, get my live fruit. And my great niece is here. She's creeping in my room real slow right now. She's trying to be quiet because I told her, please don't be loud. All right, look, Nani, see where I'm at? See what I'm doing here? Do you want to see? I'll show you something real cool. Okay, just hang tight. I'm gonna show you something. I made a picture of myself, or I uploaded a picture, and I made it like a cartoon looking thing. There it is. Look at that. That's your Uncle Russell. That looks cool, don't it? It does look like me. Yeah, but my eyebrows aren't that bushy. I got bushy eyebrows in this one. It's right. It's still me in a way. All right, guys. I'm going to end this and on a good note. I'm not hurting as much, but today I hope this gives y'all something to look into and it gives y'all some motivation to find out some new things. So, um, like I said, it's on what I just dropped on my latest post. If you click on that, you go down. There's going to be number 14. Okay, number 14 link, and that's what you want to go to find all these documents that I was just looking at. I mean, if you're interested. But anyway, let's close off with a small prayer. Father, thank you for granting us the ability to discern what's right in front of us, what you've given us, the words you spoke to give us this vibratory experience, this interface that is you, that came from you. And Father, just continue to strengthen us. Let us get through the insults or anything that comes our way and not to fall in that trap, to be, to vibrate higher than these low vibrating people that seem to want to only um, cause confusion or harm and sow in doubt to other people's mindsets. Father, just you know, let us get the right kind of information out, with you guiding us, and let us stay on that narrow path, Father. I pray these things in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, fellas, talk to you later. Peace.